Have you ever wondered just how far some family relationships can go when pushed to the edge? Today we're diving into the most intense, thought-provoking films that explore forbidden bonds, taboo emotions, and the fragile lines that hold families together. Stick with me as we unravel the complexities of love and desire where they shouldn't be. You Carry Me is a Croatian drama that explores the fragile bonds between siblings and non-siblings. One of the plots touches on a girl's painful attraction to her stepmother, where feelings are intertwined with inner emptiness and the desire to be needed. This line is presented not shockingly, but subtly and emotionally, which makes the story particularly poignant. Director Iwona Juka creates a meditation movie with a lot of pain, silence, and unnamed emotions. The picture is addictive not because of plot twists, but because of the atmosphere, where love and suffering go hand in hand. It's not for everyone, but connoisseurs of auteur cinema should definitely watch it. The Spanish drama, Huérfanos, is a low-budget but emotionally intense film that centers on an orphaned teenager who finds himself in a new family and faces unexpected feelings for his stepmother. This story is not so much about forbidden love as it is about the longing for closeness, warmth, and belonging. The tension between the characters builds gradually, as if without words, through looks, gestures, and insecurities. The direction is extremely restrained, but this is the strength of the movie. It speaks between the lines, leaving much to the viewer. Huérfanos doesn't seek to shock. He wants you to feel how fragile the boundaries between roles in a family are. This is a rare example of European cinema where intimacy is shown not as passion, but as pain. 40 Shades of Blue is not a typical love story, but a deep, almost silent drama about inner emptiness and unexpected passion. Irina, a young Russian woman, lives in Memphis with an elderly music producer, but her life changes when his adult son arrives at the house. A delicate, fragile bond is forged between them, with more loneliness than romance. And while she's not a stepmother in the legal sense, the emotional dynamics resemble all the hallmarks of forbidden intimacy. The movie doesn't rush. It plunges into an atmosphere of weariness, longing, and subtle change. The legendary Ellen Burstyn and the cold, detached Suzanne Laurie play in such a way that you feel every nerve. This movie is not about love, but about awakening from a long inner hibernation. The Danish film Mesteren explores not only art, but also the destructive power of repressed feelings. When young artist Christian unexpectedly learns that legendary master Simon is his father, he enters a world dominated by ego and ambition. However, the real emotional storm is triggered by Christian's encounter with Simon's young wife, a woman for whom he begins to develop feelings. Their connection is not just a romantic affair, but Christian's way of asserting himself and stepping out of his father's shadow. The film is shot with a cold visual aesthetic, where every camera movement seems to emphasize the emotional tension. Mesteren doesn't shock with overt conflict. It operates from within, forcing the viewer to catch glances, silences, and innuendos. This is a story about a forbidden attraction that is both destructive and liberating. If you are close to dramas about complex family relationships and psychological struggles, this movie will definitely hook you. The River, the debut film from Bolivian director Juan Pablo Richter, is a dark drama about growing up, where young Sebastian travels to his father's remote ranch. Here he encounters a world of violence, domination, and sexual power, where women, including his father's young mistress, become objects of manipulation. The movie explores the teenager's inner struggles, his growing attraction to his stepmother, and his attempts to find his own identity. Richter masterfully conveys tension and repressed emotions through visuals and atmosphere, creating a deep psychological portrait of the protagonist. The River is not just a story of forbidden love, but a powerful exploration of toxic masculinity and the loss of innocence. The film has been critically acclaimed for its honesty and visual expressiveness. In Perfect Health, directed by Damian, is a psychological drama that delves into a world of hidden secrets and unsolved emotions. A young lawyer, Andrew, shocked by the suspicious death of his father, a famous judge, begins his own investigation, seeking to understand the last moments of his parents' life. His search leads him to meet his father's young widow, Helena, and uncovers not only family secrets but also deep personal feelings. The movie explores themes of love, passion, and lies, showing how the pursuit of truth can lead to the destruction of a familiar world. The understated direction and deep characters create an atmosphere of suspenseful anticipation, keeping the viewer in suspense until the very end. In Perfect Health is not just a detective story, but a deep exploration of the human soul and its shadowy corners. The Danish drama Queen of Hearts, directed by Mai L. Tukey, is a tense psychological thriller that explores the boundaries of morality and power in a family. The protagonist, successful lawyer Anne, lives with her husband and daughters in an ideal home in the woods. However, Anne's life changes when Gustav, her husband's son from a previous marriage, moves into their home. A forbidden bond is forged between them that jeopardizes her career and family. The movie received high marks from critics for its profound exploration of human nature and difficult moral choices. Trini Dearholm's performance as Anne particularly stands out, bringing complexity and multiple layers to the character. Queen of Hearts is not just a story about forbidden love, but an in-depth analysis of power, manipulation, and the consequences of personal decisions. The Swiss drama Family Practice, directed by Joshua Dreyfus, is a subtle and provocative story about family ties, power, and forbidden feelings. The plot centers on Simone, a young man who decides to spend time with his father's mistress, psychiatrist Carl, while he goes on vacation. The cat and mouse game develops into a tangled web of manipulation and emotional conflict, where every move leads to unexpected consequences. The movie explores themes of jealousy, identity, and moral boundaries, forcing the viewer to consider the nature of family relationships and personal boundaries. The understated direction and deep characters create an atmosphere of suspense and intrigue, holding attention until the very end. Family Practice is not just a story about forbidden love, but a deep analysis of human nature and its shadowy corners. Woman in Car, directed by Vanya Rose, is a psychological drama exploring themes of class differences, family secrets, and forbidden desires. The main character, Anne, is a former archery champion, now the fiancée of wealthy businessman David. Her life in Montreal seems perfect, but everything changes when her stepson Owen brings home his new girlfriend Sophie, and Anne begins to obsess over her, fearing she will ruin her privileged life. The movie immerses the viewer in an atmosphere of tension and hidden emotions, where every look and gesture matters. Vanya Rose's direction and Helen Joy's acting have received positive reviews for their deep and layered portrayal of the characters. Woman in Car is a movie for those who appreciate meditative and atmospheric cinema with psychological depth. The movie Last Summer, directed by Catherine Breillat, is a French erotic drama that is a remake of the Danish film Queen of Hearts. The plot centers on a successful lawyer, Anne, who begins a forbidden affair with her 17-year-old stepson, Theo, which jeopardizes her family and career. The film explores the themes of power, passion, and moral boundaries that characterize Breillat's work. The film was presented at the 2023 Cannes Film Festival and received positive reviews from critics for its visual expressiveness and bold approach to complex themes. However, some reviewers have noted that the film does not achieve the same poignancy and tension as the original film. These films don't just push boundaries, they make us rethink the very nature of family and love. If you've been intrigued by the dark and complicated stories we've explored, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Until next time, keep questioning everything, because sometimes the most unexpected stories are the most revealing.